This is an easy weeknight casserole that you will use a lot of pantry items, and you can change this recipe up with whatever you have on hand. In my skillet on medium-high heat, I'm cooking and chopping 1 pound of ground beef until no longer pink. I'm going to drain off some of the excess fat. Now I'm adding in 1 cup of diced onions and about 1½ cups of finely diced mushrooms. Adding in a pinch of black pepper, cooking and stirring for 3 to 5 minutes or until the onions change color. This is 1 cup of frozen peas and 4 cloves of minced garlic. Cooking and stirring for 1 minute and then removing from the heat. You could also use some frozen corn or mixed vegetables in this recipe. Or maybe chop up some celery, carrots, peppers, or even some zucchini. Now is the time to clean out that refrigerator and freezer. This is 1 30-ounce bag of frozen hash browns that I thawed by tossing in a colander, rinsing with water, and letting them drain for a good 30 minutes. In my large bowl, I'm adding in 2 cans of cream of mushroom soup. You could also use or do a combo with cream of chicken or celery. Adding in 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese and half a soup can of milk. About a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and giving that a good stir. I didn't add any salt because I know the cream of soups and the cheese will have plenty, but you can add to your taste. Adding my slightly cooled meat and vegetable mixture in with the hash browns and giving everything a good toss. Pouring everything into my lightly greased 9 by 13 baking dish and leveling out. And finally, I'm sprinkling the other cup of shredded cheese on top. This is going into a 350-degree oven for 40 to 45 minutes or until the casserole is nice and bubbly and the cheese is melted. The ground beef and hash brown casserole was done, and my family is waiting to eat. As you can see, this casserole will feed a hungry family of 4 to 6 people. An easy casserole recipe that you can change up the vegetables, the sauce, and the spices, all depending on what you like and what you have available. Garnishing with some chopped chives. This is quite a hearty and comforting meal with your meat, potatoes, and vegetables all in the casserole. I hope you give this ground beef and hash brown casserole a try and enjoy. Here I have about 1½ pounds of ground beef. I'm adding in a half a cup of finely diced onions. Some recipes use a packet of dry onion soup mix, but I think there's too much salt. You could also use some dry onion flakes. Okay, well, you probably already figured out the secret ingredient. Classic meatloaf has breadcrumbs and seasonings, so what better pantry item to use than a stovetop stuffing mix? You can use any flavor, and cornbread is a great one, but tonight I'm using chicken flavor. The rule to this recipe is 1 full package of stuffing mix to 2 pounds of ground beef. So I'm using about 3/4 of a bag. You don't want to use too many breadcrumbs because then the meatloaf will be dry. 2 large eggs for a binder, about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of ketchup, and just a pinch of salt because I know the stuffing mix will have some sodium, and a 1/4 teaspoon each of black pepper and garlic powder. This recipe calls for half a cup of liquid, and you can use water, a broth, barbecue sauce, or milk. I'm adding a half a cup of milk to the meatloaf, and this will help moisten the breadcrumbs and keep the meatloaf moist throughout the cooking. Giving everything a good gentle toss just to mix through. You don't want to overmix. The meatloaf mixture is going into a greased loaf pan, and I'm leveling out. This is going into a 350-degree preheated oven for 30 minutes, and then I'll bring you back. It's been 30 minutes, and I'm adding a simple ketchup, brown sugar, and Worcestershire sauce to the top. I just add a little brown sugar because we don't like it too sweet, or you can use any barbecue sauce that you like. The meatloaf is going back into the oven and baking for another 15 to 30 minutes. If you are using 2 pounds of ground beef, then it would be closer to the 30 minutes. The stovetop stuffing meatloaf is done, and I'm going to let it rest for 15 minutes before slicing. I slice about 1-inch portions. This will be plenty for the family with leftovers. You can see the meatloaf is nice and juicy and tender, full of flavor by using the stovetop stuffing mix. You can really add a lot of variations to this recipe by using different seasonings, or maybe even adding some bell peppers. Serving tonight with some cheesy sour cream baked potatoes and green beans. An easy meatloaf recipe using stovetop stuffing mix. I hope you give it a try and let me know how you make yours in the comment section below. Enjoy! If you like this video recipe, please remember to hit the like and subscribe button to receive my future recipes. Please feel free to share my channel with your friends and family. It really helps my channel grow and it is greatly appreciated. And until next time, much love!